Well, epic stuff has just happened. History has just been made. And Jim Farley and Elon Musk just got together on a Twitter Spaces the day after Elon and DeSantis got together. This, who knows who the next interview might be with on Twitter Spaces with Elon Musk. But anyway, I felt that this was important enough to do a quick review of what took place on Twitter Spaces just now with my own analysis. This is Randy Kirk. Please like and subscribe. Could use some more people on the on Patreon. Okay, let me see what happened here. Well, of course, the reason for the meeting, you may not know yet, but the reason that they got together was to make an announcement that Tesla will begin making an adapter for Ford vehicles that will allow them to use the supercharger stations. And this adapter will be coming out next year. And it will not be a limiting factor in any way in terms of the speed with which the Ford vehicles can be charged. So depending on the battery in the Ford vehicle and depending on their own hose, if you will, their own connector, the Tesla portion of it will not slow that down. So it'll be up to Ford from the point of Tesla's device to the battery to determine how fast it will actually charge. So Ford was very effusive and thankful to Elon for entering into this cooperative venture. And then eventually, one of the other big announcements was that Ford is 100% committed to the NACS Interface standard, which is the Tesla interface, which Tesla has been promoting and has been recommending that the United States adopt as a standard. And he's committed to that standard. So that means two of the largest car companies in the United States are now on board for that standard. And we'll see how that goes forward. Ford will also begin making their devices in the future. I forget which year he said, but I want to say maybe 25 forward, that their product, their cars will come with the NACS interface already in place, so that there won't be a need for an adapter. Then the love fest continued with Ford with Jim Farley talking about how happy he was with this decision to do this coordinated effort. They obviously have been talking about this for a very long time. They were very friendly in the conversation. And then Elon went on to really emphasize what he's been saying all along. A lot of us in the community have been saying, gee, it's great that Fords and General Motors and Hondas and everything else will be coming to Ford charging locations in order to get their charge, but we also thought they would be using a Tesla app. But the truth is that no, Ford will have their own app. And Elon said specifically, look, we want to be helpful with this. We want to help these other companies in any way that we can to accelerate the transition to a sustainable future. And being helpful means that a lot of our patents are open source. A lot of our designs are even open source. And if there's other things that we need to make open source, we'll do that. And we don't want our charging stations to be a walled garden. So I don't know how much more clearly Elon can say it. I think a lot of folks in our community, even in the Tesla community, folks that might be listening now, think of this as a huge competitive issue for Tesla to be the first mover and for Tesla to cut prices and undercut Ford's electric vehicles or General Motors electric vehicles or anybody else's electric vehicles. And Elon has made it clear from the very beginning, he needs all comers. He needs as many companies to be making compelling vehicles at compelling prices if there's going to be any chance at all of making this a 100% transition to electric vehicles. So anyway, there was a lot more things going on here. Jim Farley praised the network itself, making some obtuse comparisons to the other kinds of charging network opportunities that are out there, and that the Tesla network was obviously much, much better. Talked about this being a first major partnership with Tesla. And even in this conversation, they discussed the possibility. Jim mentioned how hard it was to do over-the-air updates, how hard that has been for them to implement that, and that they were very surprised about how hard it was to do. And Elon saying, hey, you need some help, give me a buzz. We'll talk about it. Maybe there's some ways, some software issues or some other things and ways that we can help you to get the over-the-air update aspect of your business going. Let's see. There was more here. Oh, he's talking about the EU network in terms of superchargers and talking about how horrible that network is, and that the product that they use to actually charge their cars is as if it was designed by a committee, because it was designed by a committee, and that it's a one, they have an absolute standard. There can't be a second standard. And now Tesla has had to fit within that standard, and he congratulated his team on doing a great job in accomplishing that. Jim Farley was also asked about their dealer network and how that's, they're split off. He mentioned that the split off was a very important thing that they did, splitting off their BEV division so that that division could be focused on a very different world, the electric world being a very different thing. And that has really helped them. That focus has really helped them to see the things they needed to do differently. They were asked about the dealer network, and Jim Farley still believes that there's a potential for going forward, that there will be both, but that starting next year, they will eliminate negotiated pricing in dealers. So there will be a transparent price for Ford vehicles, at least for BEVs. He didn't say for all vehicles, but he did say going forward, BEVs will have a one price on the web. And you will be able to also order your cars on the web in the Ford website. So those are all, let's see, was there one more thing here? Oh yeah, that's right. His final question was, he asked Elon about the Roadster. I thought that was pretty funny. I'm guessing that that Jim Farley must have a Roadster on order. And Elon repeated his more recent statement that the Roadster is in fact the design. He was right in the design studio as the Twitter Spaces was going on. And he said that they do expect to have the design completed by this year and to be shipping by the end of 2024. And he was further asked by Jim, where is that Roadster that's out in space? And Elon said, well, he doesn't know exactly where it is, although there's a website for that, but that it is, he has checked it for the next 10 million years, and theoretically it shouldn't hit anything on its journey. So he said after the pyramids in Egypt have completely gone away, the Roadster will still be flying through space. Anyway, it was a great meeting, an epic thing, news breaker, a change to the way the world is going to be working, another way that Twitter is going to be a winner in terms of the way things are communicated in the future. Yeah, I had to get this up really quick. If you liked it, if this was helpful or useful, please hit like and subscribe and notify, and of course, potentially join up the Patreon. All right, great talking to you.